And here's the snap. Hands it to Audric Estime, and that is and should be a touchdown. Here we go. Bryson Barnes has got his back behind him. It is Jaquindon Jackson. Here's the snap. Bryson Barnes looking deep. He's got a man. It's caught! He's gone! Touchdown early! And hello, everyone, and welcome. This is being pre-recorded, so welcome to College Football Wraparound. This is going to be a short episode, shorter than normal, but as you can see, I am here in my broadcast studio where I do the game broadcast from. So, first of all, I do want to start out with the rankings before I get into the reaction of I'm only going to talk about two games, and that is LSU, Texas A&M, and then Alabama, Missouri. So let's go ahead and look at these rankings. So here it is. As you can see right here, Oregon the top 10 is the same. As you can see, I left BYU at 12. Personally speaking, I just don't. I mean, I haven't seen enough to say, oh, BYU shouldn't be. BYU should be higher than 12. I mean, to me personally, I think Indiana is a better football team right now, and that's really what I go with is between those two 8-0 teams. If they were to play right now, who would I pick to win? And right now, I'm picking Indiana to win that football game because I think. If you really look at it, they beat the mess out of Nebraska, who, let's be honest, nearly had a chance to beat Ohio State. So, right now, Indiana looking like a good football team. BYU, I keep them at 12 just because. As you can see, Kansas State moves up to 13, Alabama to 14, Iowa State at 15, Pitt at 16. If you look at some of these undefeated teams that are below 12, it's the fact that I haven't seen enough from them to say, hey, they should be any higher than where they are. So, LSU moves down to 17 after their loss at Texas A&M. Makes sense. Ole Miss climbs. You can see Boise State made a huge jump in this week's rankings. As far as teams jumping up, they made the highest jump of anybody. And then, of course, Navy and Missouri being dropped out. We kept Illinois in the rankings. Still think they have a chance. I think they're a better team than the Missouri. And then Washington State and Memphis entering this week's rankings. So, very interesting stuff right now in the world of college football. And so, yeah, that's the rankings, and we'll put it back up at the end of the show. Quickly, we're going to talk about two games, and that is starting with LSU and Texas A&M. Texas A&M, they took care of business, and it's like what I said in my preview, is that I didn't think LSU had much of a run game, and it came true. Garrett Nussmeier had to sit back and throw the ball 50 times Saturday night. He went 25 of 50, 405, 2 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. And again, like I said, there's no run game. Williams, their running back, 7 carries, 23 yards. Durham, 11 carries, 15 yards. Garrett Nussmeier, 4 carries, negative 3 yards. Aaron Anderson, 3 receptions, 126 yards and a touchdown. Kyron Lacey, 5 for 106. Durham, 4 for 56. Not a lot going for LSU. They put up 23 points, but still, I haven't seen enough from LSU to say, hey, they should be higher than 17. That's where I believe they belong. You look at A&M, though, and Texas A&M's offense, it was completely different because they didn't have to throw the ball. Connor Wigman, 6 of 18, 64 yards. Not incredible. And then Marcel Reed, 2 of 2, 70 yards. You look at the run game, Daniels, 12 for 91. Moss, 14 for 83. Reed, 9 for 62. Bussey, 2 for 10. EJ Smith, 2 for 7. Barber, 1 for 6. Wigman, 6 for negative 14. Um, Also, do keep in mind, Garrett Nussmeier threw 3 interceptions in this ball game. So, and Texas A&M didn't throw an interception in this game. That's something to keep in mind here. You look at the receivers. Thomas 1 for 54. Moss 3 for 42. Barber 2 for 27. So I mean, it was really, I think, the defense of Texas A&M that took care of business in this ball game. And I mean, Texas A&M did enough to win this ball game. A&M better team, and you got to give credit to Mike Elko. Okay, I mean, you're looking at a Texas A&M team last year that really underachieved with Jimbo Fisher, and so now, I mean, Mike Elko's come in, and this has been a totally different squad in College Station. So hey, got to give credit where credit's due. A&M, they're a better team. And then Alabama and Missouri. Um, yeah, Brady Cook, he did try. He did try to go. It just wasn't working. He went 7 of 12 for 30 yards. Drew Pine, his backup, 6 of 12, 42 yards and 3 interceptions. It was just not a good day for Missouri. Carroll, he played 17 carries, 80 yards. Robert, 17 for 71. Burden, 2 for 15. Pine, 1 for 10. J.R. Blood, 1 for negative 1. Brady Cook, 1 for negative 8. Um, yeah, and you just look at the receiving numbers. I mean, not good here. I won't even mention it. Alabama's defense, though, showed up, showed out, had an incredible football game. So you got to give credit there. Milroe, 16 of 26, 215, no passing touchdowns, no interceptions in this ball game. You look at the rushing averages. Justice Haynes, 8 carries, 79 yards and a touchdown. Ortiz, 3 for 63. Milroe, 11 for 50 and a touchdown. Jam Miller, 11 for 48 and 2 touchdowns. Kendrick Law, 1 for 21 yards. Hill, 2 for 7. Ty Simpson, 1 for 3. When you look at the receiving yards, Bernard, 5 for 82. Williams, 4 for 53. Henderson Jr., 1 for 28. Dupree, 2 for 27. Law, 2 for 17. Oots, 1 for 6. Haynes, 1 for 2. Yeah, Alabama's defense, I think there's 2 things you can see here, okay? One, Alabama actually ran the ball a little bit more in this ball game than what they normally had. But 2, Alabama's defense really showed up in this game. These past few weeks, I don't think it's been Alabama's defense has been the problem. I think Alabama's offense, I think really right now, having a chance, let me look at this, but I believe that right now, Alabama is on bye week this week. So I will say this about Alabama right now as I confirm um this. Yeah, they're off this week. Alabama finishes up the season at LSU, Mercer, at Oklahoma, Auburn. Alabama right now, I think, going into the bye week, this gives Alabama a chance to get prepared for LSU, which I'm saying that's probably their toughest competition left. And that's not an easy game, I mean, given how Alabama's played this season. So I would say that one's going to be interesting to see. But here's the thing, and that is I think that the bye week comes at a good time for Alabama. It gives them a chance to really reassess where they're at and get back to playing good football. So Missouri, on the other hand, yeah, I don't think they really have a chance at the playoffs right now. Both their losses have looked really bad. You barely beat Vanderbilt. You barely beat Auburn. You've squeaked by. The majority of the wins you have, you've squeaked by. So I don't think Missouri legitimately has an argument to go to the playoff right now. Unless something crazy were to happen this season here in the SEC, I don't see anything happening. So, yeah, I think this was a good win for Alabama. One that they should have won with the injuries that you were seeing from Missouri. So, yeah, good job by Alabama taking care of business, shutting out Missouri. So, as I promised, here is one last look at the rankings before we go. As you can see, as I said before, Indiana jumps from 13 to 11. Right now, with a lot of time left in the season, there's still a lot that could happen. And Ohio State and Penn State, my 3 versus 7 matchup, that's going to be big this Saturday. It's going to be big. I believe it's being played at Penn State, so that's going to be one that you're going to want to keep an eye on this Saturday as Ohio State travels to Penn State. That's going to be essentially winner of that is going to the Big Ten championship, I think, to play against Oregon. Because right now, with Oregon having that tiebreaker over Ohio State, that's a big advantage. Penn State sitting at undefeated 7-0. Going to be very interesting this Saturday. Going to be very interesting indeed. Georgia takes on Florida in Jacksonville. They should take care of business, but you never know what could happen here in college football. And so it's going to be a good week of football, folks. We'll be back Thursday night with some previewing of these games, but I wanted to give you a quick recap. But for now, thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you later. Good night.